How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Manor Lords, and welcome back to my kingdom. I'm gonna call it my kingdom because at this point I own quite a bit of the map. In the last episode, of course, we did take over Goldoff, which went very well. Wasn't really expecting it to go as well as it went, but we took that over for a reason. And the reason we took that over is because it has a rich iron deposit. Now, a rich iron deposit is something that can be very, very good for us if we level up that region, because there is an upgrade for deep mining. Now, a deep mine enables the building to extract resources indefinitely if put on a rich deposit. So in theory, we can then pivot into things like basic armor making, into advanced armor making and master armor making, so that I can get my soldiers some better gear and then potentially take over the rest of the map, which is something I'd like to do a little bit sooner than later, because I'm still playing on a pre-release version of Manor Lords, and my access to this is limited. I don't have it forever. So I'm in a little bit of a rush, I'm not gonna lie, to wrap things up with this series. We'll take a break for about a week, and then I want to come back with hard mode is basically what I want to do. I want to come back on a harder difficulty. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like or how that's going to work, but that's my goal, especially considering that this little settlement here has over 15,000 regional wealth. We've got 100% approval. We have 29 months of fuel, 21 months of food, and then Nerdenfeld is 206, almost 207,000 regional wealth. It has 50 months of everything. It is, by definition, self-sufficient, which is great. That's what I want it to be. It's really cool, actually. I think this might be the most successful settlement that I've built in any game ever, because it is just running itself. Now, admittedly, I could do more to make it better. We are having issues with, not enough storage, and that's something I'd like to do something about. And maybe we should do something about that, because we are seeing these complaints coming in left and right. So very quickly, I don't really want to focus too much on Nerdenfeld today, but very, very quickly, I kind of wonder, can I get a storehouse, I don't know, here, for example, might be a place for it. It's very, very close to this hunting area, but I think that's probably a decent spot for it. We also don't have a lot of foragers. I don't know if we need more foragers. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we do. Anyway, we'll go ahead and make that a highest priority job, and we'll just sort of let them do their thing, because I want to come up this way into Goldoff, and I want to get started with a new settlement, and I want to go ahead and try and make this thing grow as quickly as I possibly can. So we are going to go straight to work. I'm going to pause the game while I do this, because I do want to manage my priorities a little bit. And what I think I'm going to do is a settlers camp right about there. We're also going to go for plentiful resources, because that seems like a nice healthy start for a place. And that is going to be our camp. Now, in terms of resources, we're going to need quite a few things. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do is start with a logging camp. And I'm going to place it down here, which I know doesn't make a lot of sense. We have this huge forest over here, but I'm going to go with here because I'm going to build my houses in this space, and I don't want the trees being too far from the houses. I don't want the logs being too far from the houses. So the logging camp is going to live here, probably temporarily, and that's okay. We are going to need a woodcutter, and I think the woodcutter can live, I'm going to say here, honestly, right by the forest. That one I'm okay with having just up in that space. So that's going to be a supply of timber for construction, a supply of firewood for heat, and then we're going to need a, let's see here, a hunting camp can go out this way. Now, what way do I want to do this? Do I want to put a road into that forest? I suppose I could. I guess what I could do, if I really wanted to, is get myself a little road that goes, let's say here. And we're going to sort of curve it along through here, through the forest nicely like this, and between those two spots, we'll bring it down this hill and connect it over to this road right about there. Now, I didn't connect it here because what I want to do is sort of angle this guy around a little bit so I can maybe get, well, I'm going to do this a little bit simpler, actually. We're going to go this way, and we're going to do this, and we're going to go this way and do exactly the same thing. And that, I think, is going to be a space for a market right in the middle of everything. I think that'll be okay. Now, I was saying I was going to put my houses here. I think I am still going to do that. So we're going to need a road for those guys to be on. And so that road is going to come up this way to about that spot right at the edge of the forest. And it's going to go right down to this road. I'm going to go for a nice straight road here because we do like a nice sort of straight edge in the sides of the burgage plots. And you know, looking at this space, I almost want to split it in two. I almost want to do something like this, bring a road through here, and then we can have some plots on this road and this road. So I've got some grids, and they're not perfect grids. They have some curves, but it's still very distinctly a bit of a grid setup going on here. I think what we're going to do is just bring ourselves another little road out this way to divide up that space. And that's basically going to be some burgage plots on this road, on this road, on this road, and then on this one as well. So we have space for a lot of plots in here if I need them. I don't need them right now, but if I happen to need and or want them, then we do have that as a bit of a choice. I'm also going to bring a road down here because I'm sort of thinking I might actually pivot my plans just a little bit and build the plots on this road first, because then we can use this as a massive market to support all of these houses. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to try something a little bit different. Actually, now that I think about it, I did forget to build the hunting space, didn't I? So let me very quickly get myself a hunting cabin right about there. Let me get a forager's hut, I guess, somewhere here. I guess here's pretty good for it. So a forager can live right about there. That'll be perfect. So that'll be a source of food in both senses. It's going to be some meat and some berries, which we absolutely need. We don't need a saw pit and we don't need a forester right now. But here's what I want to try with my burgage plots. I've read about this. I've seen some people talking about this in YouTube shorts, and I want to see if it works because burgage plots are interesting. So this right here, obviously we're not building this, but this is 15 burgage plots. And each one of those burgage plots will have a demand for goods. And apparently the way the game works is the goods demand is for the plot and not the people. So if you build a burgage plot and there's no one in it, the game is still going to send goods to the burgage plot. But on the flip side, if I make these plots a little bit smaller and I keep going and I keep going, we now have 9 burgage plots. So that is, let's for argument's sake say that that's going to be 90 units of food. But each of these plots can be expanded to house another family. Now, in theory, if this works the way I'm seeing people say that it works, what happens is that you're still only going to consume the goods that would be needed for 9 burgage plots, despite the fact that there's 18 families. So long story short, that's kind of what I want to experiment with. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if that works in different versions of the game, but I'm going to try it out because we're getting to the point where I feel like I can try it out a little bit. And that's going to be our space for housing. Now, what I'd like to do is make sure this guy is at the highest priority. I want to go and make sure that you are just a step down from that, and that you are a step down from that. And then this right here is going to be our market. So we'll get that set up nice and quickly, just like so. That is 41 market stalls. That might be a little bit big. I'm not going to lie. That might be a little bit excessive. Maybe we should do something like a storehouse or a granary next to this thing. Just because I think 41 market stalls is, yeah, not a great idea. So what we'll do is turn off snap to roads. We'll rotate you around, and I'm going to go for something like, I want to say something like that should be just fine. So we'll put it right there in the middle. That'll be great. Back into housing. We want to go from here. I would rather it wasn't right up against the storehouse, but I don't really think I'm going to get too much of a choice there. And we're going to go for, we'll do the 19 stalls. And that'll be perfectly fine. So this guy doesn't need to be a huge priority. We're going to have it as a high priority, but nothing too crazy beyond that. And then for other buildings, I mean, we do need a granary. That's for sure. We are going to need a tavern at some point as well. But I think for the time being, we're going to be all right. We'll go ahead and run the game. We'll let these guys get to work, and we'll just see what happens. Oh, now this is interesting. An enemy unit's been spotted, and they happen to be right by the border between Nerdenfeld and Goldhoff. So we should be able to deal with that relatively easily. I'm going to need to gather the troops and send them out this way, and then sincerely hope that they don't. Oh, they are going straight for Goldhoff. That's bad. That is actually very bad, because Goldoff does not have means to defend itself and also doesn't have much to be destroyed. So let's make sure everyone's actually running and that we all get to where we need to be, if you wouldn't mind. I don't know what they're doing. What are you guys doing? What are you, can you guys run? Oh, they are going straight for, like, they're going to set things on fire. That's their plan right now, and that's bad. My troops are taking their sweet time, which is a bad thing, because Goldoff, like I said, there's not much to loot. There's not much to burn down. They're burning down my storehouse, which isn't good. I don't know what they're going for now. Hopefully not my logging camp. Oh, it looks like they're going for the logging camp. Oh yeah, no, they're firebombing the logging camp, all right. That's great. Ah, they're burning down the market as well. Okay, well, I'm not really, I laugh because it hurts. Let's get my troops in there as quickly as we can, please, so we can maybe deal with this and stop Goldoff from being destroyed before it even gets off the ground, because that's kind of what's happening right now. So archers, if you wouldn't mind hurrying up a little bit, that would be great. So archers are here. Line the archers up that way. Let the enemy troops get a little bit closer. Line these guys up sort of in front of the archers. They can take the brunt of that attack. Let's have you guys go in and sort of do your thing as well. And hopefully the archers can continue to do that. These guys have gone around. Okay. That's really not what I was looking for, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of hoping the archers would, I don't know, not do that. Okay, well, wait, where are these guys going? No. Get over there. Archers over there, please. So archers line up and start shooting. You guys go and deal with them. I don't know what your plan is. You guys go and deal with them, and we'll see what happens. It looks like my archers might be in trouble. These archers are also possibly in trouble. Yeah, you know what? It'll be fine. These guys are nearly dead anyway. So they've been killed. These guys are going to get dealt with. These archers, I would like to fall back a little bit, if they wouldn't mind. It doesn't look like they want to, which is fair enough. I think we won. Did we? Are we good? Yeah. Well, you know, to say that we won might not exactly be how I would describe what's going on here, because as it stands, this needs to be rebuilt. This has been rebuilt. Oh no, it hasn't. This needs to be rebuilt. Let's see. This needs to be rebuilt as well. What else got burnt down? At least the camp's okay. That's good. They didn't have any burgage plots to burn down, so, you know, all things considered, that could have went worse. That's not good. What happened there is very much a bad thing. Also, people in Nerdenfeld are unhappy. What's wrong with you? You don't have food stall and don't have tavern supplies. Am I not importing ale to Nerdenfeld? Is that not a thing? No. Okay, maybe it should be. It's not like we don't have the money for it, you know? So commodities, import ale up to 100. We are importing it. Import up to, like, I don't know, 250. That's 125. That's not what I'm looking for. Import up to 250. And let's see how that goes. We'll see if that gives them enough ale to be a little bit less miserable. You guys can be disbanded and go back to civilian life or whatever it was you were doing. And then it looks like everything here is being rebuilt, which is good. So that's nice. That's always what we're looking for. I would like this thing to get upgraded as quickly as possible, because I do think it's going to be important to get our hands on some more ox for logistics' sake, but I'm also keenly aware of the fact that there's now 37 bodies laying next to this town, and I really wasn't wanting to have to build a corpse pit anytime soon, but here we are, having to build a corpse pit again, so let's just, I don't know, we'll go for, I guess, right here for the corpse pit. Let that be a warning to any of the king's men that come into my territory. We will bury your corpses right on the border between your territory and mine. Okay, so we've managed to get ourselves 5 burgage plots. It took a little bit longer to do here than I would have hoped for, but it does give us a perk point or development point, whatever we want to call it, for the region. So we're going to go straight for charcoal burning, which is going to let us convert firewood into charcoal, making refueling twice as efficient. That's going to give us a path straight into deep mining, which we're going to want as well. But we do need to get some level 2 burgage plots. We need 2 of them, so we have got a little bit of work to do. We are going to need to get ourselves, I guess, let's see, fuel food and clothing, as well as water access and a church. And I mean, I know that. I had to sort of remind myself a little bit, I'm not going to lie, but we know that for the most part. So we'll get ourselves some water out this way, since that's relatively nearby. And a church is going to need planks, so we're not going to worry too much about that. We could build a tavern. We don't need a tavern, but I do like the idea of having a tavern right about here, right by the market. It's relatively central. It's going to be good for future proofing as well. So that's kind of what I'm going for with this thing. We'll get ourselves a little road down the side of the tavern and across to here as well, just because I can. And, you know, we'll bring one just around behind it as well. Again, sort of just because I can. So up to about there should be fine. Straight down to about there should be fine. And this space, we'll figure out what we're doing with it, but that should be a pretty good setup for us. We've also got these other burgage plots coming in, which is great news. That is going to bring approval up as time goes by. But I'm a little bit worried about this this fuel situation. We do have a woodcutter down here that's working. So hopefully we can figure that out, and hopefully we can get this approval up enough to make people happy. I'm kind of hoping we can continue to have, you know, the food variety and the different supplies and all that good stuff to keep us in a good spot. I'm also kind of thinking that some of these larger plots, I'm kind of thinking we maybe want to do some vegetables down here just to make sure that we are feeding everybody. These should be considered larger back garden areas, larger plot areas. So we should get a good amount of vegetables from these, even if they're not the longest. They're a little bit wider than they usually are. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if it works that way. We'll see if the game wants to play ball in that particular regard. And I'm not going to bother building any more burgage plots for a while, because as it stands, what I can do is go ahead and build a vegetable garden like this. I can expand the living space like this. I can do the same thing here and expand the living space again. And I can go to this guy. I can say, give me a vegetable garden and expand the living space. And that's going to be 3 more families in those 3 plots. So 6 across 3 plots. That seems like a good way to go. Having those vegetables is hopefully going to help us out really nicely. And hopefully that's going to lead to a nice amount of food variety at some point. And looking at it, we do have the food variety. We just need the clothing, which is going to be linen, leather, or yarn. So I want to say goats, to be completely honest with you. I think goats would be the way to go. So let's do some, wait, is it, that was expand living space. That wasn't what I was looking for at all. Is it goats that I'm looking for? Yeah. A passive yield of hides, and then we just need a tannery to turn those into leather. So I think that's kind of the way we'll go with this. We'll do two goat plots to start with. These 2 will be goats. The rest of them will be vegetable gardens. And then all I need to get myself is a tannery, which is just going to be some logs as well, just a little bit of timber. So I think what we'll do for the tannery is, I don't want to put it too far away, but I don't have any idea for sort of an industrial center right now. So I'm just going to put the tannery out here so that it's a bit of a ways away from everybody. And then it can open up a market stall, and everything's hopefully going to be good. It might just take a minute to get there. Now, something I'm realizing that we are going to need to do here is we are going to need to get our hands on a saw pit. Whether I like it or not, we do need one. We need planks for the church. We need planks for different things across the board. So a saw pit's probably not a terrible idea, and we can get it out next to the tannery, which is, I think, probably the best place for it. So we'll go ahead and, you know, schedule one of these guys to be built. I want it nice and close to the tannery, just so this looks a little bit more built up, because that's apparently a thing I care about in this game, even though I shouldn't. I'm gonna go for right about there, and that'll be perfectly fine. So that will eventually get us a supply of planks. The tavern is slowly coming together, not that it's going to be getting used anytime soon. Although what we can build is a trading post. And I do think a trading post is something we want to get as well, since that's probably where most of the ale is going to be coming from for this space. Now, I'm debating whether or not I want the trading post to be right here, or if I want to put it closer to the edge of town. And I think just because this is going to be a relatively busy space and we have that market right in front of it, I'm going to go for here. And then what I'm going to do is just bring a road right in front of this guy, and then right down like this. And what that's going to do is let me get some burgage plots in this space, which is what I think I'm going to go for. So we'll come back a little bit like this. We'll sort of curve it a little bit so we have some interesting burgage plots. And then we'll go to here. And what we can do is sort of curve this road down a little bit. And again, that'll give us some sort of interesting looking burgage plots if and when I decide to build them. And then for here, I don't think we're going to do burgage plots in all of this space, but I might as well get a little road across there. And at some point, we're going to need a forester because we're really clearing those trees out a fair bit quicker than I was thinking we were going to. But that should be all right. We are up to 44% approval, which is great news. We are hopefully, and we are, seeing some hides in storage as well. And we're hopefully going to be seeing the tannery coming together at some point too. Now, I have taken some people out of the logging camp. We don't have anyone working there right now. But we do have enough timber to build everything that I'm putting down. So essentially, you know, we're guaranteed to have someone doing some hauling and we're guaranteed to have someone doing some building. Once everything's built, they can go back to work at the logging camp and hopefully everything's going to be okay in that particular regard. I'm also completely broke. So, well, not completely. I've got 10 gold, but I can't build anything in here, which is a little bit unfortunate. But my hope is that we can get this approval to continue to rise. If we get it above, I want to say 50%, if I remember right, above 50%, and we will get one new family every month. If it's above 75, we'll get 2 every month. So here's hoping. We're at 49%. If we can get it to 50, that'd be kind of nice. Oh, now this is good. The tannery's up and going. So if I really wanted to, I can get someone working in here, which might slow construction down a little bit, but that should now give us a source of clothing for these guys. And that's going to mean that the only thing we have left that we need is a church, which, I mean, it's good that the saw pit's done, but oh, we did get a new family. Well, that's great timing. That's actually fantastic timing. Okay. In that case, let's get someone into the logging camp, just because I think that's probably for the best. We still need to build the trading post, which is very close to being done. And then I think once the trading post is done, which, I mean, it has all the resources that it needs. We just need someone to come down here and, you know, hammer in the last couple of nails on the thing. But once that's done, we can put that last person to work at the saw pits. And then we're basically good to go. We just need to get the resources for a church. So if someone wouldn't mind just coming down here and putting this thing together, that'd be kind of great. I would definitely appreciate someone doing that. I'm also kind of wondering what I can export from this region, because for the life of me, I have no idea. Although I guess we do have this rich iron deposit. So if I want to, ooh, you know, I was thinking that the rich iron deposit was mostly going to be used for making armor, and it is, but it can also be used to, make me money. How? That's the tavern that I've clicked on. How much can I export iron for? That is my important question. So crops, materials, that's what I'm looking for. So an iron slab can be exported for 4. Really not as much as I was thinking. That's not great. Iron ore is 3. Is it worth just exporting the ore? It might be. I don't have to establish a trade route for that though, which is good. So I think we'll figure that out. We'll give it some time and see what exactly we want to do there. But yeah, that's not the worst thing in the world. Regardless, let's get someone working this saw pit, and let's say we have a construction reserve of, I don't know, we'll say 10 timber, just so everything's okay. We're up to 6 families here, which is great news, and we're doing okay. We could be doing better. We don't have as much food as I would like to have, but we'll get there. I'm sure we'll definitely, maybe, probably get there. All right, so now that we have the planks to build a church, I'm sort of looking at this space and thinking that's where I want it to go. It is up a hill a little bit from where everybody's living, and it's also right by where we first settled for this space. So I think this is definitely the spot for it. And I think what we'll do is go for, I'm going to say right about there for the church. I would like these supplies to be moved as well, but I don't think that's going to happen until I get myself I don't know, a few people working in some of the storehouses is probably what's going to be needed there. So for the time being, let's just connect the church to this road here. Let's bring a little road sort of over this way as well and connect it out towards my little production space, because that seems kind of nice. We've got this little road coming off the side that can go out this way and around and connect over here as well. I don't think this road actually gets used, but it does. There's like a visual thing there. There is sort of visually a road, so that's all right. And we'll go to about there. And I suppose we could bring a little road up this way straight towards the church as well. But again, the stone's going to have to get moved. So we're going to have to wait on someone working in the storehouse, which we do have the capacity for. So let's get someone working in here and see if they'll start moving that stone around so that we can get it into storage and stop having the complaint about there being, you know, exposed goods. Oh, now this is interesting. We have a notification saying that wild animals have migrated. So that's not the end of the world, I suppose, because it doesn't look like they've gone very far. They were right behind this hunting camp. They're now just over here. So it turns out you can move wild animals and they don't go very far and you can still just hunt them. I don't know. The way the game phrases it, you know, it tries to discourage you from building in this space. It really doesn't like you to do that, but yeah, it doesn't seem like it's all that big of a deal. If anything, I wonder if I built on the other side, would they get closer to my hunter? Because if that's the case, then, well, that might be a little bit broken, but we might have to experiment with that at some point. I'm also thinking it might be about time that we get ourselves a forester's hut in here, because we are starting to see more and more trees disappear and it is getting to be a bit of a problem. So let's build ourselves a little forester's hut. I guess right about here should be fine for the forester. I don't think that's connected to the road though. So let me just demolish you and do that again. We'll just put it on this little road on the side instead, since that'll be a little bit easier. So right about there should be fine. That's connected to the road. And then once we have some foresters, we can replant all of this and everything should be good. The church is coming together really nicely as well. Got a good amount of planks in storage, a good amount of timber. So I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me upgrade this hitching post. Let me upgrade. I can't upgrade the granary and I can't upgrade the storehouse. That's unfortunate. And then these guys, I can upgrade them once we have the church. And then once I have 2 level 2 burgage plots, I can get the deep mine thing. And then basically I can just go out here, start getting some iron, and we can just start trading it. We'll just have indefinite supplies of iron once we have deep mining. And again, I stand by it. That seems overpowered. It does. I don't want it changed because I really like it as a perk, but it does seem like it's a little bit, it seems like it's a little bit powerful. I'm gonna be honest with you. It just, I don't know. I'd be very surprised if that doesn't change. That's if it hasn't changed already, which again, it might have. Anyway, the church is now done. So if all goes to plan, I should be able to, and I can upgrade you, and I can upgrade you, which is absolutely fantastic. I can upgrade you as well. And I'm just going to go down the line and upgrade as many of these guys as I possibly can, because in doing that, I might be able to level up the town a little bit faster. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 level 2 burgage plots, if and when that happens. Let's make sure that the priorities are okay. What do we need? We need planks, or sorry, logs being brought in here. Now we do have this. Unfortunately, we don't have the money for another ox, so we're going to be waiting a little bit for that one. But the one ox that we have should be able to do some good work around here. And I'm also noticing we do have 3 unassigned families. So straight into the forester's hut with you. Let's see what else we can do. The tannery I'm not too worried about. The forager I'm not crazy worried about either. Hunting, there's a decent amount in there. I suppose we could do another hunter. I mean, we're doing okay. We have a year's worth of food and we have 4 months worth of fuel. So maybe fuel's where it's at. Let's say we want another woodcutter just to make sure that the fuel supplies stay where we want them to stay. And then I guess it's just a case of waiting for these things to get built and hoping for the best on that particular front. But like I said, once we get them up and going, we can get the deep mine. And I think, wait a minute. Burgage plots level 1 or higher, 2 of 5. Oh, now hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. We're still gonna have 2, wait. Hold on a minute. We're only gonna have 2 level 1 plots. Wait, no, level 1 or higher. Okay, we should be fine. I read that right. I think we're okay. I read it wrong at first, but then I read it correctly, I think. Let's hope for the best. It says level 1 or higher. These are technically higher, so it should be all right. I'm sure that's not something I'm gonna have to worry about whatsoever. We also have 23 planks right now, so let's see. We need timber to upgrade you guys now. That's, of course we do. All right. Well, I mean, as it stands, these guys do have a bit of a distance to go to get timber. So let's have the forester working in this space to try and repopulate the trees in there. It is looking very bare. I don't like that. I definitely want to get those trees back. Now, I've just noticed that we do actually have 34 regional wealth here, so I'm going to get myself another ox because that seems like a fantastic idea. And I'm going to get myself a dedicated logistics hauler person as well, because that also seems like a very good idea. We're also up to 9 months of fuel now, which is great. We've got 11 months of food, which is not so good. But we're upgrading some things as well, which is good. So there's good and bad, right? There's a back and forth here, which is completely fine. This guy is coming together pretty well too. We've got 2 level 2 burgage plots, which is great. If we can get 1 more of those, that will give us the upgrade that we're looking for. So let me just make you guys slightly lower priorities because I want this one to be the one that gets built that little bit quicker. And then hopefully having that dedicated hauler is going to make life a little bit easier for us as well. I think logistics is kind of the unsung hero of this game is what I'm noticing. I say unsung, it literally tells you, you know, you go into logistics, you go to hitching post, provides 1 stable space, assigned families become permanent ox guides, which speeds up logistics. Faster logistics is generally a very good thing, is what I've found with this save that we've got going. I mean, I think faster logistics is kind of how I built this place. I don't think I had the fastest logistics, but I do think, if I remember right, I mean, this came together very quickly, and it's doing very well for itself too, which is great. There we go. So let's come over to you and let me get my deep mining, which is very important. Now we need 10 plots. We're gonna have, so this is good. We will have the 5 level 2 plots that we need, or that we want, which can let us get into basic armor making. Now, what does have me a little bit concerned is that we are going to have to rely on berries, meat, and the vegetable gardens, and I guess chickens for food in Goldoff. Because we're not going to be doing orchardry, we're not going to be doing heavy plows, we're not going to be doing anything with bread and rye. So this will be very, very interesting to see how this works out, but we can now come in here. We can now go to mining, and I can get myself a mining pit, which I'm very excited about. I'm very, very keen to try this out. I've never actually used deep mining before. So we'll put that guy right about there, and we'll get ourselves a road that, I guess I'll just bring it out this way and bring it down and connect it to the existing little intersection here. So right about there should be good. We could probably come off of here as well, now that I think about it, and just bring it over towards the other space, which I'm not against doing at all. So right to about there seems pretty good as well. And I could just take it straight over here to, we do have this rich stone deposit, but I don't think I can upgrade a stonecutter camp in the same way that I'm going to be able to upgrade the mining pits. So let's make this guy priority, just because I'm curious. And then basically, as soon as this thing's good to go, I can build myself, if I really want to, I can get myself a bloomery. You know what I didn't get? And I've just realized we really should have got already? We should have got a charcoal kiln. That's going to make life so much easier for our fuel. I think we need one of these. Now, do I want to build it down here or up this way? I think I want to build it up here. I think this space makes a bit more sense for this thing. So I'm going to build it basically right there, I think is going to be the spot for the charcoal kiln. So right in that spot, we are going to need a road connection for it. So we'll just do something like this and that'll be okay. And I guess for these guys, we'll just do sort of a right angle corner thing right about there, and that'll be all right as well. So that's going to be our charcoal kiln. That'll be great. That'll give us a nice supply of fuel. And then basically the only thing we need to worry about is going to be food, which again, the idea, especially now that I have some money, we really might want to start looking at chickens. I think this one I am going to say is going to be vegetables, and we will start expanding these guys as well because we have got the materials. But I think we're going to have to get a few chicken plots, and I think this might be the space for it. So how much timber? I've got 10 timber. That's fine. Now, this is the thing that I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we've gone, wait, is this not connected? I've just noticed that this road isn't actually connected down here. That's not ideal at all. Let's get you built like that. I mean, we've been going back and forth on the idea of whether or not chicken plots are affected by the size of the plot itself, and I don't know that it is. I just don't. I don't want to do this. I think I'm okay with doing that though. Well, no, I think I want to go for this. And I think these are all going to be chickens. This one might be a vegetable garden, but I think these four are going to be chickens. So I'm going to get you built. And then over this way, this will all be burgage plots. This probably won't be. This will be burgage plots. It'll be fine. We're building a nice little sort of square here. We're also going to do burgage plots on this side, because I can sort of surround this little production, markety, storagey space, and I think it'll look good. I know I don't need to go for aesthetics and this kind of stuff, but I'm going to, because I want it to look a certain way. I will say, I think Nerdenfeld at this point, whilst not perfect, I do love it, but I love this. I love the single road. I love the weird farms around the church. I'm so pleased with both of these spaces, honestly. I really, really am. Now, an interesting detail about the deep mine is that we are going to need 50 regional wealth and 10 planks for that upgrade, but we will get there. Every level 2 burgage plot gives us a little bit of regional wealth every month, so we can get there in that particular regard. But what I think I'm going to do is assign one person to work here, and I'm going to say that we are going to get the trading going, because I think that's going to be important. So if we go to materials, we're going to start with iron ore. I don't necessarily want to export all of my iron ore, but it's what we're going to do to get started. I think I'm going to get the trade route as well. And then as soon as we have the money, we are going to upgrade that thing. We'll get ourselves a bloomery, and then we'll start making iron slabs. It's only another 1 gold in terms of regional wealth, but I also want to make stuff out of the iron anyway. So we might as well just export the excess iron slabs that we're not using. But this should hopefully give us a decent little bit of money. We also have the charcoal kiln coming together, which is hopefully going to look cool out here. Might be a little bit dangerous having something like that in the middle of the woods, but it might look good, and that's obviously it's obviously important, right? That's what we're going for. We're looking for this to look cool rather than just be functional. And you know, it doesn't look terrible. I think it looks all right next to the little mine that we have going on. I don't know. It's all right. It's definitely all right. You know, I have just realized something, and that something is that vegetable gardens are affected by the size of the plot, right? We keep going for these nice long backyards, but what if I did this? So that's 15 plots, right? That's 15 plots. I could reduce that to 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We could go down to 1. We could just have 1 burgage plot. It'd be an enormous burgage plot, but that's technically just 1 burgage plot. I have to wonder, and I'm sure people have experimented with this. I'm going to be honest, I haven't been watching other people play Manor Lords, because when I'm playing a game on my own channel, I don't watch other people do it, because I don't want to pick up their ideas. I don't want to copy other people. I have to imagine that there are a lot of videos out there that are talking about, you know, the world's biggest burger. I'm so tempted to do this and turn it into a vegetable garden. You have no idea. But I don't know that I'm there yet. I could do this as well, which honestly, I mean, that's kind of neat, actually. I kind of like that. That would make for an amazing vegetable garden right there. I think I'd rotate it though. I think I'd do it this way and maybe make it a little bit smaller again, just to try and get these guys. Oh, they're not going to line up. This one's always going to be a little bit weird looking. Okay. Oh, we're being attacked by something. Let's give this a second. So do I want to do this? I kind of do. I kind of want these huge vegetable gardens. They've only been good for me in the past. So I might just go ahead with this and just let this population go nuts. Just do a bunch of, so basically chickens up here, vegetables down here, more chickens on this side as well. And then we should be fine. We don't need to, admittedly. We have still got a lot of living space, so I think we're just going to leave it be. Enemy units spotted where? So they are up in that territory, right? In that case, let me grab all of my guys. We will rally just up this way. We'll deal with the enemies, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with Goldoff. Oh no, that was unexpected, but Goldoff has leveled up again, which I'm completely fine with. My guys are all standing here for whatever reason. Let's get them lined up like this instead, and they can just sort of stare down the enemy, and we'll figure out what exactly is going to happen here. I'm assuming my archers are going to eat them alive to begin with. The archers are pretty good. So let's just, oh no, they're actually not really doing, oh no, they're tearing those guys apart, which is great. Let me grab the archers, move them back a little bit. And you know what, what's the most aggressive stance I can have here? Give ground, missile alert, balance, stand your ground, push forward is what I want you all to do. I absolutely want you to push forward. You guys are going to go in, attack those guys. You can go attack those guys. You can go attack those guys. And it's just going to be a bit of a frenzy. But by the looks of it, it's going and has gone very well for me. Oh, there's another, no, that wasn't a save. The game really is, it's really struggling right now. It's not having a great time, unfortunately. It is a little frustrating having it sort of constantly hitch and lag and all that stuff, but there's not a lot I can do about it, unfortunately, at this point. Now, we need more planks. Okay. We'll get there. We'll get that upgrade. It's going to be amazing. It's just going to apparently take a second. Now, something I am paying attention to is just how many upgrades we get. And by the looks of it, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I go back to Goldoff, we currently have 2, and we're going to need 1, 2, 3 more. So that's 5. So that leaves us with 1 that we could play around with, which could be orchardry. We could play around with orchardry, which would be another source of food, which I think is going to be very important. It would mean that I don't need to import other sources of food. It could be beekeeping. I'm very tempted by trade logistics though, because that's going to limit the price of trade routes to a maximum of 25 regional wealth, regardless of how many that I have. It's very, very tempting. But I'm thinking that we're probably going to be okay, because the idea is that we're going to be exporting a lot of things and making money anyway. So I'm going to go for orchardry, which is maybe a bit silly, because now in order to get armor, we need more level 2s, we need some level 3s, but orchardry is going to let us get another source of food, and that's going to keep people happy. It means that we're going to have meat, we're going to have berries, we're going to have vegetables, we're going to have eggs, and we're going to have apples. So 5 different sources of food rather than just 4 from what we've got right now. It should mean that we don't need to go crazy importing anything. And that's sort of my goal. That's sort of my hope. I'm also wondering if an orchard would be impacted by the size of a plot as well, because if it is, we could just do a giant orchard somewhere, but I don't suspect that I'm going to do that, to be quite honest with you. I think what I will do is, let's see, we have these plots here. We have got room for up to 24 families right now. We have 16. So really, we don't need more. We really don't need more burgage plots. I just need 2 planks right now. That's the only thing that I need from anyone in this space is 2 more planks so I can get my deep mining upgrade. There's the 2 planks. So let's get this thing upgraded. And again, I've never seen this upgrade before, but I'm hoping that it does what it says on the tin. And I'm hoping that that means I can now go to industry. I can now go to bloomery and I can just build this thing pretty much anywhere. I guess out here, we're kind of building this as a bit of a hub of industry. I think at some point, a lot of these buildings will probably get knocked down and moved around, but I think for the time being, honestly, this is probably fine right about there. So that'll do quite nicely. And yeah, I think I probably will knock those down and move them around because I love this. I love this look. I love them all being sort of spread out like this. It kind of looks like, it looks a little bit like Anno, I guess, is how it does. I don't know if it doesn't really look like Anno, but you get the idea. It's, you know, on a grid. So therefore it's Anno, I guess. Anyway, I think at this stage we can go through and start getting some chicken coops in here because that is going to be absolutely fantastic for us. And I think all of these guys, I'm going to set them up as chicken coops. Even this one, I was thinking it'd be a vegetable garden, but honestly, we're just going to do chickens for all of them. And that's totally fine. And then in here, I do want to do something in here. And I'm so tempted to say that this probably should just be apples. I'm so tempted to put those burgage plots in, even though, again, we still have so much space available. I think I need to exercise a little bit of self-control and just not go crazy with burgage plots, because I think even when they're empty, which I think these guys are not. Are you empty right now? You're under construction. I think all of the burgage plots, these ones aren't empty either. I think even when they're empty, they do consume goods, I think. They do have storage at least. I don't know if anything's being brought to them, but I just want to be safe about it, I think is my plan. And I think that's sort of what we're going to do. Now, is this guy done? It is. So the deep mine is done. 3492 at the minute. Let me get more people working out here. Let's just max this thing out. So as they're working, if this goes up to 5, it's 3491. Is that still gonna? Is that gonna work? I'm suddenly really concerned about the idea that I don't know if that works. I'm a little concerned about the number going down. We might. You know what? I'm gonna have faith. Is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna choose. Enables the building to extract resources indefinitely if placed over a rich deposit. I'm going to choose to have faith is what I'm going to do. I might live to regret that, but for now, that's what I'm going to do. I'm also thinking we probably want a herb garden up here. We can probably get another hunter in here as well, just to start maxing out some of the buildings that we have. And I think given that we have space for another 6 families to come through, I think we get ourselves another forager. We'll go for another 2 foragers just to try and max that out a little bit. We'll go for another forester as well. And so that's going to be up to 21. So that'll give us 3. We don't have anyone working in the granary, so we'll get someone working in there. We don't need anyone working in the tavern, although the plan will be to start importing ale as quickly as we can, because that's going to be needed for the level 3 burgage plots, as well as clothing. Now, clothing is going to be interesting because our fertility for flax around here is not very good, which is a bit of a pain actually, because I was hoping we could do something simple with it. But I guess what we do is I guess sheep will be the answer there. We're gonna have to go for, let me see, looking at you. So you're getting linen, leather, and yarn. Shoes. I guess the plan will have to be that we start using some of the leather that we're already making to make shoes. And then we can start getting some yarn from sheep. Although in saying that, I mean, If I just go ahead and get a cobbler now, that will deal with some of the problem. It'll be a little bit less in the way of vegetables, but these are 3 of the smaller plots that we have right here. So I think a cobbler might be the way to go. To be completely honest with you, I think that's maybe what we do here. So yeah, let's get ourselves a cobbler. That'll be a second source of clothing for everybody. That'll keep them happy. And then it is just a tavern and it is just a church. Ale can get imported. The church is going to need some roof tiles, so we can import those as well. In fact, I'd be pretty confident in saying that if I go to trade and materials, or is it construction? We need a route for it though. Well, actually, now that I think about it, don't we have, yeah, we have clay down here. So we can just make them ourselves. Okay, that makes life a lot easier, actually. Suddenly I'm a little bit less concerned about trading, to be perfectly honest with you. I think we'll be just fine. Oh, and there we go. With the cobbler built, we now have clothing stole supply at 2. So it is just the tavern and it is just the church that we're going to be needing. So I guess we are probably in a spot where we can get some more burgage plots, because we are going to need more people to do some work for us. So, I mean, I built a road out here so that if I really want to, I can fill up this entire space, which I'm tempted to do. But in total honesty, what I'd really like to do is I want to do this. I'm not gonna lie. I want to do this. As stupid as this might be, this just seems really interesting to me. This just seems like a really, I mean, that's going to be what? That's going to be 7 plots with expandable space. I mean, that seems pretty good. Those are going to be some huge orchards, because that's what I want to build in the backs of these guys, is a bunch of orchard space. So we're going to do it. We're going to build it. And it's going to be amazing is what it's going to be. We don't have anyone that can work there right now, but we will have people coming in that can work there. I'm thinking this space is hopefully going to be a market of some sort, and that's not going to be possible, apparently. That's unfortunate. Can I... Oh, I can't build anything on that road, actually, or at least not in the curve of that road, which is very strange. Oh. I don't know how I feel about that. I can do this, though, which gives me 5 little market stalls. Okay, can I improvise further? Can I do this and go right up to about that spot? That's unfortunately not possible. Okay, let's try improvising a little bit further then. So that gives me, can I get 6? I can get 7. I can definitely improvise here a little bit. I can get 8 of them. You know what? That's what we're gonna do. We'll get ourselves 8 market stalls down there at some point. That'll be great. We'll get all of this built, hopefully in no time at all. We'll get some orchards in there. And then that'll be a source of apples for everybody. That'll be a source of vegetables. We've got chickens. We've got berries. We've got meat. I would say that puts Gold off in a pretty good spot. All right, so all of these guys down here have been built. We're sitting on 800 regional wealth as well, which is fantastic. So immediately, we're going to do apple orchards, and we're going to expand the living space on all of these guys. Apple orchards are 50 each, which is a lot of money, but it's potentially going to be huge for us. And it also means that all of these orchards will be up and going around the same time, which is what I'm looking for. So we'll get 50 there and expand it as well. And I think that's going to look great. Once those have all grown, it's going to look amazing. Now, I have decided to build some more burgage plots up here, because it's hit me that I'm probably going to say that these plots along here are going to be all of my artisans. So basically, we're not going to be doing vegetables. We're going to do a blacksmith or a tailor or a brewery or whatever it might be. And a brewery might not be a bad idea, to be completely honest. If we go ahead and import malt, we can make ale that way, which is going to be a little bit cheaper for us. I mean, if we look at crops, we could import barley, which is going to be 12 a piece, which is ridiculous. But then if we go to materials, is malt in materials? Is it commodities? Is it crops? For the life of me, I have no idea, but I'm sure it's somewhere. It's 14 to import malt versus 12 for barley, and it's 18 to import the ale. So it might not be a bad idea, actually, to just get ourselves something like a malt house, and then just have a brewery down this way. And I think reasonably that's probably what I'm going to do. So let me go ahead and build this guy. We'll go for, I want to say right about here for the malt house. We'll go to trading post. We'll go to you and we'll say crops, barley. We want to import, and I'm going to just say a maximum of 5 for now because it's going to be so expensive. Then what we'll do is swap you out for a brewery, and that'll be just fine. And again, the reason I've got these guys is because what I can do, I'm going to move my goats, for example, up to this space, because those goat sheds down here will probably get taken over by something. So this will just for now give me a little bit more leather in the long run, but it also means that these guys, this is going to be my concentration of production, right? I don't have to go looking around for it. I know it's directly across from the tavern every single time. Oh, no, this is good. We do actually have tavern supply for some of my burgage plots. So that means that all we really need now are some roof tiles, and we can upgrade the church and start to get some of these guys up to level 3, which would be kind of amazing. But I don't think we're going to do that today because I think this episode's probably gone on a little bit longer than I wanted it to. But in saying that, we are in a pretty good spot. We have 18 months of food. We have 26 months of fuel. We are only going to get more food because as it stands, we are in the process of getting some of these guys up and going with some chickens and some extra people in there. We can upgrade some of these plots as well, which given that we have got a lot of planks right now, I think we'll go ahead and start upgrading some of these guys to level 2. That way I can go ahead and get a little bit more tax money out of them, a little bit more regional wealth from these guys where possible. These ones can't be upgraded. That's okay. You can't be upgraded either. That's fine. And then these guys down here actually just need timber. It's not even planks that we need. I forgot about that. But that's all right. That's totally fine. We're still in a pretty good spot. We can go ahead and get another person working in the logging camp as well. I've currently got my foresters out planting trees in this space because I want to start surrounding this area with trees because it's me. Of course I do. But I think this puts us in a really good spot to go forward with Goldoff and see what I can do with it. Figure out where it's going to go. This little market in here it's still got 10 spots available, but we have one down here. We have one up here, which has 4 stall spots available. We have plenty of space to grow it into. So I guess now I just have to choose. Am I going to go and, mine this clay and make the roof tiles myself, or am I going to import them? And I think reasonably, I'm just going to mine them myself. So we'll start working on that in the next one, because that is going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.